Everything's on the.
No.
Everything's on the. It's all English.
Hello, everyone. Gonna let everybody have a moment to get connected. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are switching it up today. Today we are swapping the regular order of things, and we're going to be starting off with our Members Matter meeting. And then at 11, our presenter Kelly Jensen will be joining us through Zoom to talk about the current state of book bans and censorship. So let everybody connect. Here in person with us today, I am Kate Kite, the Continuing Education Coordinator for Illinois Heartland Library System. And I keep looking, you'll probably be looking up because we have a screen. Thank you so much, Chris, for hosting us at Charleston today. Here in the room with us, we'll go around and just let everybody know who is here. So I'm gonna motion to Carol first.
Hi, I'm Carol Hogan Downey, Communications and Advocacy Administrator.
I'm Matt Caskey. I work in the IT department.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leah Gregory. I'm the Schools Membership Coordinator.
I'm Chris Hutchins. I'm the director here at the Charleston Carnegie Public Library.
I'm John Kirshner. I am the Share Member Engagement Specialist.
I'm Ellen Poppett. I'm the Associate Director of the Illinois Heartland Library System.
And I'm Carl Walworth with the Mattoon Public Library.
Thank you all for joining us in person today. And if you are joining us on Zoom here on the Members Matter portion, please feel free to turn on your camera. And if you want us to make sure that we count you here as attending, please make sure that you have your either first name and library name or your first and last name, so we know who everybody is that's joining us. So first, and bear with us today, because you know we've been doing the slides with friends and it's always an adventure. But today we have Leah is in charge of that for us today. So I'm gonna have her go ahead and start that.
Okay. And I have to share my screen. Is that correct? Okay. We're good.
There we go. Okay. Everybody can join with their phone or on their laptop.
I messed up. Close.
Spoiler alert, I'll be doing a presentation on on-demand trainings in a little bit.
So, yeah, I'm working on it. Start. See, I'm telling you, it's fine. Oh,
Again, it's always an adventure with technology.
no, that's somebody sing or give us some like Jeopardy music or it's the band.
So while we were going, and I know it looks like she just, okay.
Almost
Slide. Okay, and then can you put the QR code up? Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing that in just a second.
There we go. I was all ready to go, guys, I promise. Okay. Open.
Good morning, Laura. We are just getting the slides with friends pulled up.
Share screen.
Ta-da! Thank you, Leah. Okay, excellent. We've got some people who have joined us. There's these link, the QR code and the link right there. It's slideswith.com/IHLS Again, play along. Thank you, Colleen. Play along for a chance to win a prize with IHLS and share trivia. Okay, and you can still sign up even if we're
Okay, can you go to the next one?
going, yeah. Okay, so during each department's update, there will be a question for you to answer. The points are assigned randomly because that's how we do it, you know. Okay. Okay, well, I can tell you now that the next question is going to be how everybody is doing this morning. And while we are bringing that up and getting that going, Leslie, I'm going to turn it over to you for the update on the administration portion of IHLS.
Thank you, Kate, and hello to everybody in Charleston, and hello to everyone else, all of us that are out in Zoom land. I'm sorry I couldn't make it this morning to be with you in person at Chris's library, and I'm sure I'll get a chance to visit there soon. So a couple of things that are going on at the system level that we'd like to share with you. First of all, we are getting very close to the end of our fiscal year, which means that end of year projects are completing, that our finance team is busy making sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed, so that we are ready for the point where the books are closed later this summer, and also very prepared for our audit, which will be in the early part of August this year, like it generally is. In other news for the system, I want to make sure that somebody else may note it today as well. We still have some Illinois library law books available. Colleen may be able to share more about that when it gets to her turn. But just want to let you know that if you haven't yet received a copy, please consider getting one. The prices we're able to offer, because we can share them with you very efficiently via delivery, are less than you could get them from ILA. No shade on ILA. They have a different set of guidelines for the way theirs are delivered. So that's why the difference in costs. But please do consider getting at least a copy for your building as a whole, and possibly more for those of you that have larger departments and boards, if you can manage to do that. So that would be lovely. Oh, thanks, Colleen. She posted it in the chat. The other thing I want to give you is just a brief update on our strategic planning process. The IHLS board in May agreed to work with the Alliance for Library Impact on our strategic plan in 2024. Our last strategic plan was in 2015. We've done some internal planning since then. However, we've not really worked with an outside agency, so we can get much more of a non-biased perspective and make sure that we're getting as much input from our members as possible. The things that are happening now, we are getting ready to send invitations to some individuals for one-on-one interviews with the consultant, and also getting ready to send in invites for our focus groups. There will be 5 total focus groups between July and August this year. So many of you, I'm sure, will receive invitations to that. And then the next piece, as far as gathering input from members, is a survey. The survey is open to every member, every staff member in your building as well. So please, when you see that later this summer, we encourage you to distribute that link to that survey broadly. That's all I have, unless there's something else I need to mention, Kate.
Not to my knowledge. Ellen? Okay. So the average
Great.
response is, thank you so much, Leslie. And it looks like most people are doing really well today. So yay, the sun is shining. It's going to be another hot one today. So, and then go ahead, Leah.
And
We've got the administration update.
Yep.
Okay, so our first question of this morning is, what program must public libraries submit their participation status in by June 30th? So the possible answers are summer reading, non-resident program and fee status, the annual IHLS Limbo Contest, or the Stephen King Fan Club. Give everybody a chance. You did see, Stephen King did just put out a new collection of short stories. Here's the Stephen King Fan. Okay. Okay, Cassandra, I'm gonna let you organize that, okay? And then our next question is, the new edition of which essential book is available for purchase through IHLS? So if you were listening to Leslie and Colleen, got Serving Our Public 4.0, the IHLS Member Directory, 2024 Illinois Library Laws and Rules, or Weeding with Friends, Collection Management as Recreation. Me too.
There's Chase.
Okay, yes, it's the library laws and rules. Okay, so then next up, we have our human resources update provided by Jill Trevino, who is joining us through Zoom today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kate. So I have some exciting employee law updates. Yay! Do I see lots of smiles for law updates? So as we know, we've been talking about PLAW, the paid leave for all workers, for probably over a year now. And they have made some changes to the law. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go over some brief updates because Carol has graciously taken on the project of updating our IHLS website. That will be available next week with all of the detailed information regarding the requirements of the law, what you can and can't do, and a very in-depth Q&A that will help you answer questions. So a lot of the changes that happened were just some further clarifications. They clarified denying leaves due to operational needs. So they eased up on this a little bit. The definition of operational needs was very stringent. And it does now imply that you can deny a request if it would require the business to close. I know some of our smaller libraries have very limited staff, and that may apply. Also, for pre-existing conditions, for policies, they basically just said that as long as you have the 40 hours and you can use it without giving a reason, so it can't be vacation, it can't be like, it has to be, you cannot, put any implications on there that this is vacation time or this is only sick time. You have to allow them to take it for any reason, that you can go ahead and have your leave policy be compliant with PLAW, if that is the case. But I would like to say too, remember, part-time employees do apply. It's not just full-time employees. Payout instead of carryover. Before, they were pretty stringent on the carrying over any unused hours. You can now, as an employer, decide if you and the employee would like to pay out those hours instead of carrying them over from year to year. As we know, sometimes our budgets are pretty tight. So that is an option that is allowable with the new requirements. But I would say the biggest one is that the rules confirm that employers in municipalities or counties that require any form of paid leave, even if it is minimally compliant with the Act are not covered by the Act, and they are covered by the requirements of their home municipalities and counties. So if you are a municipality, basically you do not have to comply with this Act now. So those are just some highlights. Again, Carol's going to update the website and get that information out to everyone, so you can go through and make sure that your questions are answered and that you are compliant with the Act. The next one I have is the new overtime rule salary threshold increases from $43,888 on July 1st to $58,656 as of January 1st. So what does this all mean? There's a lot that this means. So there is a classification that each of your positions have, classifying them under the Fair Labor Standards Act as exempt or a non-exempt employee. So there is a salary basis requirement in which employees must meet the classification as an exempt employee. So we can't just say, hey, all library directors are exempt, because it really depends on your duties and what is based on the salary basis test. So I'm going to put a few links in here that kind of talk about the salary basis test, but also that talk about what an exempt employee is and how this salary affects the thresholds. Because if you are exempt, you do need to meet that salary cap of the $43,888 on that July 1st, which is just a few weeks away before we know it. So I'm going to put a few links. I'm going to put some information on here from the Department of Labor that will further go into that. I could talk all day about this particular law, but we don't have enough time for that, and I don't want to bore you too much with employment law. So I'm going to go ahead and put those links in the chat. So look for those links in the chat. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can go online, you can schedule a consult with me, or if you need to contact me, you can absolutely call me on the phone for any immediate issues. So those are the lovely changes that I have. Wish they were happier ones, but thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jill. A couple questions came into the chat. Colleen, would you mind reading those for Jill?
Yep. Are we also still covered by pre-existing union contracts?
Okay, pre-existing union contract. Unions are not, I'm going to be honest with you, that is not my area of expertise. Anything dealing with the union, I would suggest that you seek your legal counsel or talk to your union representative directly.
And then if part-time employees already get paid time off, such as vacation time, do they still get PLAW?
Okay, possibly. And the reason I say that is if you're classifying it as vacation time, then what are the requirements for them requesting that time off? Because that will make a difference. Can they take it for any reason? And can they take it with or without notice if notice is not foreseeable? So those would be two implications. You can say, hey, this is our leave policy, or our vacation policy allows you to take off without giving us a reason, and then you can be compliant under the Act.
Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Colleen, for reading those for us. So, and our HR question today is, which is a training available for free to members through IHLS's Gallagher Insurance? That is A, bloodborne pathogens, B, safe book cart operation, C, shushing safely, how to quiet people down, or D, sexual harassment prevention? I can tell you how many times I've sprained my finger.
I'm going to interrupt here, Jill. There was one more question asked too. So general PTO is compliant.
General PT,
Paid time off. Yep.
if you allow them to take it with or without notice and with no reason given, then I would say yes, a general PTO would be compliant.
I would say, and that was actually a slight trick question because no, Tina, you were right. It actually, the training available is bloodborne pathogens and sexual harassment prevention. So congratulations, everybody was right with that one. And now,
well, one more, sorry, Tina replied, her answer should, oh, I see. Or Tina, were you meaning about your union contract? Was that about the HR source membership or no? Nope. Okay, never mind.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Cassandra Thompson to give the share update. And Cassandra's joining us through Zoom today.
Hi, thank you so much, Kate. I wanted to just start off by giving everyone an update on the text messaging issues that we're experiencing with Verizon and any other provider that uses the Verizon network. So like Spectrum, Xfinity, some of those prepaid phones that like are the pay-as-you-go. If you're not sure which carrier your patron is using, we do have a service provider lookup. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat so people can actually send a text message to the patron. And of course, they have to agree that they would be willing to get a text message. And then it'll actually tell you what carrier they're using. So if you're not sure, if they have like a T-Mobile, or not T-Mobile, excuse me, T-Mobile is the one I use. I'm drawing a blank, but the like MetroLink or something like that, you can send them that text and it'll tell you what carrier they use. For notifications, we are requesting that you start moving people over to an email notification system. And the reason we are saying that is because we had thought initially that the issue was due to some differences in technology, like SMS versus STP something. Troy is the expert on this and can tell you all of the differences. One's a newer technology, one's an older. We tried a couple of like internal Band-Aid fixes for this, and that is not the issue. Verizon is actually throttling our service so that when we send out our text messages through our server, they're not letting them all go through. And so it's an issue. They're being sent, but Verizon is not releasing them. And so with us sending almost 1 million texts per year, obviously there are quite a few. So at this point, we are looking at a third-party solution to use an additional provider to start sending those text messages externally through a text messaging system. Right now, the text messages are being sent through an email server to get to the text. And I think that is part of why they're throttling those messages. And so I think that all of the carriers are trying to find ways to prevent, we're all starting to get these spam email or spam text messages now. And so it's a preventative message to try to protect their patron or their customers. Unfortunately, valid business is also being kind of lumped in that same category. So it's unfortunately not a quick fix. And so hopefully we will be able to try to resolve this issue, but it's going to take us some time. So I wanted to give everybody an update on that. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out and we can talk with you a little bit more about that. I also have a really exciting update for Aspen. We have started the next group starting to go live and get their catalogs set up. In the interim, we're also working on something called side loading. And so that's something where most of the vendors, like Cloud Library is a great example, uses something called an API, where it just is pulling real-time data into holdings into the Cloud Library system. A lot of the other vendors do that, like Overdrive or Hoopla. Some don't. So for instance, if you have a subscription for Creative Bug, if you have a subscription for Biblio Plus, they actually don't have that API system, but they still have MARC records. So any vendor that doesn't have the API but does have MARC records can be loaded into Aspen. And so we're starting to work on some internal workflows to make that happen. So when you did your initial setup, I think Leslie Zavaduke had sent out a form that you could fill out if you had an e-content provider. And so if you have those types of, like Gale is another one that we can sideload records, Biblio Plus, Creative Bug, Canopy, I believe is one. If you have Tumble Books, that's another one that we're going to be looking at. So feel free to let us know. You can send that to the IHLS help desk. It's taking us some time just to get, like I said, our workflows in place, and then as well as getting all of the MARC records from all of the vendors. So that's going to take us some time, but be on the lookout for that. If you use an events calendar, those are also able to be incorporated. I know they just had added one that Chatham was using called Assabet. They've got Communico and other library vendors already set up. And so if you have an events calendar that you'd like us to include, please feel free to let us know. We want you to utilize Aspen to its full potential. If you have collections that are in the Illinois Digital Archives, we're looking at that as well if you'd like to get those included. Or if there's collections that are in the Illinois Digital Archives that you're interested in getting added to a separate search for local history, let us know. We're happy to do that. So we're working on we're starting on the bells and whistles phase of the project now. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions, or some of those content providers you'd like to get over to us, just please let us know. Last but most certainly not least, I know that John introduced himself at the beginning of the meeting. John is our new Share Member Engagement Specialist. So at some of these Member Matters meeting and maybe some of the networking events, you might see him, his beautiful smiling face as he gets to know some of the members. He's actually a former member of one of our Share Member libraries. And so we were very excited that we could bring him back to the fold as our new Member Engagement Specialist. So welcome, John. And then next month, I'll probably let him give this share update. So, all right. Do I have any questions about any of those topics?
There is one. Can patrons contact Verizon to allow the text through?
They could certainly contact Verizon to see if there's anything that they can do, but I think that it is much more widespread issue, that it's not on a patron by patron basis. It's something through the Verizon infrastructure that's not allowing those text messages to come through, but you could certainly try. I would say letting them know that you're unhappy with their service is always a good idea.
Thank you. Thank you, Cassandra.
Thank you.
And so our two share questions, the first share trivia question is, since February, the top requested book title in share has been Emily Henry's Funny Story, Rebecca Yarros' Fourth Wing, David Baldacci's A Calamity of Souls, or Kristen Hanna's The Whip. I think this is the toughest one.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
And it's the Kristen Hanna's The Women. I think it's held the top requested spot since February.
I looked and there were 183 volts.
Okay, yeah, 183 volts. So, and then what is the name of the book leasing program available for share members? Is it MacGyver, McNaughton, McNugget, or McDowell? It's clearly hungry when I.
I like it because it's a nugget of information.
That's right. It is McNaughton. Okay, and our next update is the communications update by Dr. Carol Hogan Downey, who is joining us here in person in Charleston.
Thank you. So I only have one update right now, which is that, and you may have seen this already in the newsletter, that we have a new digital equity resource guide up on our website. for libraries. If you go to issues on the website and then select digital equity, you'll find it. It contains information from that previous digital equity grants page, as well as a whole lot of new stuff too, information about how to train your employees and also how to provide programming and teach people in the community. And it would be a great resource for any libraries who recently won that tech grant. So check it out. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Carol. And our question, is check out the IHLS issues and librarianship web pages for a new guide and information.
Well, clearly we coordinated.
Yeah.
Where you live wrong.
Yeah.
We're gonna know you were listening.
That's right.
So there's digital equity, cat tattoos, how many are too many? Getting started with weeding with friends, or book cart accident awareness month. Yes. And Carol and I actually did not communicate this before, we're just that. And our next update is our delivery and facilities update provided by Colleen Detmeyer, who is joining us through Zoom today.
Hello. Yes, I have a few updates. New upcoming things in our budget for FY 2025, which does begin on July the 1st. We budgeted to go ahead and do a large purchase of the new style of delivery tubs. So we expect to get those at the end of July. So we'll be sending out details regarding those new tubs. We're hoping at least like the week before. We send them to all the libraries. So if you're a library that does not currently use those new style delivery tubs, be on the lookout at the end of July or beginning of August for those. And please reach out to me or your delivery hub staff if you have any questions about those. And then I'm sure that everyone has heard the news about the automated material handling system. If you have not, we are purchasing the automated material handling systems, and we have submitted some information in the member connection about that. There'll be a special section at near the end of the newsletter every month where we'll be providing updates. So please make sure you are subscribed to get the member connection. That will be our main method of communication for that going forward. All of these topics as well will be published on, we have a special AMH section, and I'll post all these links in the chat here once I'm finished. But we are also planning a special meeting on July the 10th at 10 o'clock a.m. And this will be to help kind of talk about some of the upcoming deadline or upcoming project timeline, as well as the barcode duplication, how that process will work. And then we'll answer any questions that were submitted in advance. And then we'll have a portion for live Q&A at the end. I'll post the link to register for that. Even if you cannot attend that day, this is the same, whoever registers will send out the recording link to the same group. So please register if it's something you cannot attend. And then also in that same L2, there's the link to submit questions in advance of the meeting. And it is helpful if we know your questions in advance, just so we can go ahead and include those in the presentation. And then if it's something we need to think about or, research on, we'll have time to do that in advance to July the 10th. So, and then also in that AMH special section in the newsletter yesterday or on Tuesday was the revised delivery guidelines. We had a small section for share members that had new delivery guidelines for those, and it was the outside barcode recommendation, and then there'll be two other after the AMH is in place, which will be we're recommending no rubber bands, and then there'll be an exemption against labels for share members. So you can read all of those on our website. I'll post that link as well. And there is a printable version at the very top. And we do ask that you share these with all of your staff that work with delivery. And then also to talk about the delivery alert section, we do have an email and text method for those delivery alerts. And I'll post that link to make sure you're subscribed for those as well. Other than that, it's all things delivery, and we're working heavily on a lot of the automated material handling system project. So that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Colleen.
Oh, and our question, I forgot that our question, we did not end up publishing that in the newsletter yet because we weren't quite finished with the portal, but go ahead and do it anyways, because you'll need to know.
Oh, it's quite, yeah. Which hub is having the AMHS installed first? That Champaign, Edwardsville, Carbondale, or all three at the same time?
Edwardsville.
That's right, it is Edwardsville. Although I'm sure Colleen would love it if all three just got installed at the same time. Then how many rolls of barcodes will IHLS give you if you opt to do your own barcode duplication? Enough for your entire collection, enough for the number of items circulated through delivery in 2023, none, or as many as you want. I don't know the answer. Yes, enough for the items, enough for the number of items circulated through delivery in 2023. And lastly, our update is our membership update provided by the membership team. So, and we have myself, Ellen Poppett, and Leah Gregory all here in person. Is Anna joining us on? Okay, Anna Yackel's on chat. Pardon me. And so I'm gonna turn it over to Ellen for any updates that you may have.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Leslie, or somebody alluded to it earlier, this is the time of the year when we're working on the non-resident fees and collecting all that information that we ask you to enter in Library Learning L2. So you might get a little nagging email from me, and if you don't, thank you for having taken care of that. We really appreciate it. Certainly the thing that has been taking our focus for the last 2 weeks is the announcement of a technology grant that was made available through the Secretary of State's office and the Illinois State Library that was awarded to libraries that had a certain poverty. It was basically a poverty level that was above the state average of 11%. There were 113 grants awarded. IHLS libraries got over 60 of them, and it was an all hands on deck effort to get the information out to people, because the grants were announced on Thursday and the applications were due the following Friday. So statewide, we reached out to make sure that our libraries knew that they had the support and the information they needed to get that application filed. So it was communications, it was share, it was IT, it was all of membership, working with our members to know that we were available to support them in this application. One thing we did, which was wonderful, again, because of that very short turnaround time, is we did a statewide Q&A session on the Wednesday before the grants were due. And it was, Rail members were invited, Rail staff was there, we were there, and the state library was there to answer questions. So kudos to everybody who made this happen, because as of Monday morning, the state library told us that all our applications had arrived safe and sound before the deadline. So that's really significant. I'm going to turn it over to the other people on the membership team to see if they have anything to add, and then I'll finish. Okay.
Okay, definitely. The main things I would like to touch on is that I just added 4 new HR related webinars into L2 that are provided through Uprise Health. So they're general HR topics. So you can search for those, and those run July through October. And then also in July, we do have a few events coming up, but the one I really want to touch on is another collaboration that we're doing with our Rails counterpart. And we know that website accessibility is on a lot of people's minds, and so we are having a how to make your website more accessible without rebuilding it from the ground up presentation on July 24th. So that one is in L2. Laura Solomon is presenting from the Digital Network of Ohio. So it'll be a really good presentation. So I urge you to sign up for that. And then Leah, do you have anything?
I don't have any major updates. I don't want to say that it's quiet right now, but summers are quieter.
But. Anna, do you have anything you'd like to add, or do you have a voice? Okay.
But I think somebody just.
Okay,
No, okay. It's probably still.
okay. Well, we're gonna turn this over to Kate's last question, but before I do, I just want to salute Anna Yackel on her planned retirement at the end of next week. Anna's been with us for a little over 6 years. We've loved working with her. We applaud the work she's done on the Island Trustee Training Portal, and we will miss her royally. So Kate, do you want to do the last question?
Yeah, we have one more question before the last question. But our two membership questions are. Recently, 113 Illinois libraries were invited to apply for a technology grant. What criteria was used to select the potential recipients? A, eligibility for updated equalization aid due to a low tax base and high poverty rate. B, number of homes without internet service in the service area. C, population size, or D, the internet speed of the libraries. Excellent. Everybody was listening to Ellen. And our last question is in honor of Anna, and Anna did approve this question. So Anna Yackel is retiring June 28th after 40-ish years in the library world and 6 years at IHLS. How does she plan to spend her retirement? A, open a cafe and bookstore. B, visit every public library in the US in her repurposed school bus. C, spread joyous mayhem and chaos in the world. Or D, move to a secluded mountain cabin and tackle her to-be read list.
Oh, we have lots.
Okay. Yeah, lots of, but the correct answer the majority got is C, spread joyous mayhem and chaos in the world. Those were Anna's own words, and I know I can speak for membership when I say that we're excited for Anna to be unleashed upon the world. So it's been absolutely fantastic working with Anna. I have learned so much from her in my time here, and she will be dearly missed. So, okay, our leaderboard is, okay, it looks like third place Colleen, who would be disqualified. Second place Tina Huber, and first place Kyla, which I'm gonna assume is Kyla Waltemeyer at Mississippi Valley. Kyla, can please confirm.
It's kind of that we use.
Okay, it's Kyla, okay. So, yay, congratulations. So thank you all for playing today. And now I'm gonna ask if there's anything that a member would like to bring up or any questions, anything that you've thought of before I do the presentation today. I'm gonna do a quick presentation before we turn it over to our speaker at 11. So does anybody have anything? We've got a few more people that have joined us in the room. You know, honestly, the silence waiting while everybody's on Zoom is the worst part. Okay, we'll let Leah, this is a good segue, we'll let Leah get everything ready.
Presentation for Thursday.
You learned. I know. Holding it back.
I guess I have a question.
Okay, yes.
I know that for those of us that got the technology grant and we were at the meeting, I asked Troy if he would be able to come up with a list of web designers to help us update our website to make it ADA compliant. And I know other libraries had also written in the comments, they were interested in that. And I suggested that he work with, oh God, what's the L'Oreal's counterpart, Slaughter and Slaughter. Is there any sort of update on when that list might come or, you know, how that's going? Is Troy working on it? Is there like a deadline?
Yeah, in case you did not hear online, there's a question of, for those of you who have received the technology grant, it was brought up by Kaylee at the technology grant Q&A, whether or not there'd be a list of website developers provided by IHLS and Rails to get the websites ADA accessible, and asking if there was an update on that. That is certainly something we can pass along to Troy. We do not have Troy here with us today. And I know that we do, on our digital equity page, we do have some free resources and guidelines that libraries can access now.
Right.
But I know that that is not the same thing as you're asking for, but we do have resources in the meantime. Okay, so now, and actually, I saw a question come up in the chat about our online training or on-demand ongoing trainings and the website to that. And that is gonna be my quick presentation today, is how to get to our on-demand training offerings. So the three that we offer, while Leah's getting that pulled up, are we offer bloodborne pathogens and the sexual harassment training through our insurance Gallagher Risk Agency or Risk. Jill knows the exact name of it. And then we also worked with Library 2.0 to bring 3 safety and service webinars through the Library 2.0 webpage. They created a separate subpage for us at IHLS. These are both all a multi-step process to access. And I do recognize that that does cause a little bit of confusion sometimes, especially when we're working with Library 2.0 and we have L2, otherwise known as library learning. And so those are 2 separate things. So I was going to go through how to access those, how to register for those, and what it looks like after you've registered.
I'm ready to share.
Okay, and Leah is ready to share.
Okay. Presenting teams or teams. Still trying to.
Okay, so
Wait a minute. Let me stop you. Yeah, I can present from the. Yeah. It just may not be both screens.
okay.
I can present. Because there was.
Okay, thank you again as we work through our slight technical issues.
That's what you get for putting on a newbie in charge.
Yeah, and I see that Angela asked, can these slides be emailed or something to everyone? Yes, I will make this available to everyone. I would like to make little step-by-step videos. There's a few little short videos in here that I don't know that we'll have time for, but I will definitely make sure that we put everything available to everyone.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Stephen.
So I went ahead and reached out to my partner about the list of web developers. I figured that might be something my department also provides, so we might be able to get something together.
I know one of the things that came up during that meeting was, you know, one library talked about a web designer that would cost at minimum $100 a month, but up to $200 or more a month. Which Troy was like, yeah, so that guy or that, and that's not sustainable for a lot of libraries. So I'm also interested in sustainable website.
Yeah. Especially since these grants are people in libraries that would not be able to sustain that.
Yeah, like you could pay for it during the grant period, but afterwards, that's a lot of money for some libraries.
Okay, we've got about 10 minutes before our presenter Kelly Jensen will present on a subject far more interesting and exciting than the on-demand training. But I'm personally excited to be able to offer these to our members, because I know the rest of our staff are. So the three, as I mentioned, are sexual harassment prevention training, bloodborne pathogens, and the library 2.0. Leah, can you go ahead and Matt, sorry. Okay, and so I'm gonna have Matt play this little short video. It's only about a minute. Oh, it's already playing. Okay, so to find it, there's a good way to do ongoing events in L2, especially if they last a full year. So what we do is we make the registration open for the full calendar year, but the actual quote event takes place on December 27th. So you can search a couple ways. You can either search through the search bar, or else you can go to the calendar view, and you'll see that we have all three of them are on December 27th. Again, the date of the training doesn't matter. It's really the registration. So whenever you sign up, we check that every week, and then we go off the new registrants and we go into the Gallagher system and assign the training. So you would register for them just like you do in L2. So register in L2, like I said, registration is important for our purposes. And then within 7 days of registering, you will receive an email from Gallagher. So go ahead, Matt. I'm going to show you what the emails to expect look like, because we also want to make sure that you check your spam, because they don't come from IHLS. So you'll get one from GB Risk Control, and that'll be your account information. So you need to first set up your account. And then after that, whenever we assign the training, you'll see that on the right, it says your administrator, Jill Trevino, has assigned you online training. So there might be, it might be Jill that assigns the training. I learned how to assign training. So you'll see an administrator name, and then you access with that link that's linked in the email. It is very important that everyone use their own L2 account and their own email to sign up for these trainings. And that's because the things like sexual harassment that are required by law, you get a certificate at the end of it of completion. We can't forward that email. Like if I was having trouble with it, I couldn't be like, Carol, can you just forward me the email? Because I would take the training and Carol would get the credit for it. So it's very important that we have everybody linked to a unique ID. That we please. And then the same with bloodborne pathogens training, it's set up the exact same way. So you register in L2, the event date is the 27th. You'll receive those emails from Gallagher. And I want to point out that this is not required training. So it's not like the sexual harassment prevention training, but we decided to offer this training because I think everyone here knows how unpredictable public library or library can be. And so, you know, that is one thing that we don't receive training for usually, is how to deal with bloodborne pathogens. But, you know, we wanted to make that training available. So it does meet the OSHA requirements, but you are not required to take this training. Okay, Matt. So a couple of the Gallagher training frequently asked questions, and I covered these. These are in the L2 event as well. If my staff want to sign up, must they have their own L2 account? Yes. Does this cost me anything to sign up? No, these are free services provided by IHLS to all of our members, their trustees, and their staff. And then if I don't see an email in my inbox, please check your spam or junk folder. Sometimes those Gallagher trainings do get caught by the spam filters. Also, there is a known issue with Hotmail accounts. So if you have a Hotmail account and you don't receive the training, reach out to us and we will probably ask you if you have an alternate email. But we do know there's a known issue with Hotmail. Okay. So the other type of ongoing on-demand webinars that we offer are the safety and service webinars through Library 2.0. And I'm going to break down the email that you will receive from me or another staff member about how to be processed, because this is another multi-step process to sign up for. We did this for a very intentional reason, is that because these are pre-existing webinars that are pre-recorded and that are provided by Library 2.0. there was no optimal place to host them on our end. So whenever I was working with them, one of the options was that they could create a subpage for IHLS. And I went with that option because they offer a lot of trainings, and I would like to offer more of those as we go on. And this allows us to add to that website. And so, again, this is Library 2.0, not L2. So then you, after you register, the same with the other ones, these are on demand, ongoing. You can watch them at any time. You can stop them and start them whenever you'd like. There are 3-hour-long webinars. So you will receive an email from an IHLS staff member. Right now, that would be either me or Sarah Taylor. And those have the instructions on how to register and access. So first, if you do not have a Library 2.0 account, and it's free to sign up, you can register for a free account at that first link in the email. Whenever you're signing up for the first time, your very last question will give you an option to choose an organization, or and then you'll want to choose Illinois Heartland Library System. Thank you, ma'am. So very important. So Library 2.0, once you have a Library 2.0 account, you'll need to go back to the original email and click the link for the special Heartland page, or else I did put the link here. We can put the link in the I don't know if we put, I'm not gonna put the link in the chat because if you don't have a Library 2.0 account, that will take you nowhere. But like I said, these will be available to everybody. But that is our special Illinois Heartland page. Thank you, man. And then if you already have an L2 account or library, I even did it. I'm so sorry. If you already have a Library 2.0 account, email the admin at library20.com to get added to the IHLS group. So they will have to manually add you. And then finally, this is everything else has been the things that they requested of you all in order to access these. The last thing that I ask is whenever you do sign up, would you please go to that really quick survey and let me know which webinars you are planning on attending, because that helps me, number one, get some kind of idea of numbers, of usage numbers, but then also gives me feedback on the types of webinars our members are interested in. Thank you, ma'am. And so these are the 3 that are available. All member library staff have access to these 3 webinars. So it's frontline staff, any staff. And as I mentioned, we can add more webinars as we go along. So the 3 that we have right now are working safely in a rural location, stressful service situations, and the top 10 most challenging patrons. There is information on the L2 page that covers kind of generally what these are about. If you go to the link that's in that L2, it will ask you to pay because it's not through it's not through our page, but you can get a full synopsis or a full, what is this description? Thank you, Ellen. A full description of those webinars. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So then the things to remember are everyone must register for events using their own L2 accounts. You don't have an L2 account, right on that home page, they have a little video that's step-by-step how to get signed up for one. Number 2, check your spam folder if you haven't received the training within 2 business weeks of registering. And if you have questions or have not received a link for training, the 2 primary contacts are Jill Trevino and myself. So please reach out to us because we really want you to be able to access these. And again, I know it's a multi-step process, but we appreciate your patience as we do our best to provide you with these opportunities. So thank you very much. And let's see, and it's 10:58.
Wow.
We today. So again, there's my contact information, and we're going to go ahead and let's see, any final words? We're going to give everybody literally 2 minutes. I see that Kelly Jensen has entered. So it's 10:59. We're going to stop this recording and then switch over to